For most of us, reality feels solid. We move through a physical world. We trust what we can see, touch, and measure. But what if the ancients were right? What if beneath the surface of the physical body, there exists something else? Something hidden, something powerful, something made not of matter, but of light. They called it the Merkaba, a word rooted in ancient languages. Mer, light car, spirit bar, body together. It means the light spirit body. Not a metaphor, not just symbolism, but what ancient traditions described as a living energetic field surrounding every human being. A structure that, when activated, could expand awareness, heighten perception, and reconnect the individual to something far greater than the physical world. But here is the mystery. If this light body exists, why don't we feel it? Why does it remain hidden? To answer that, we have to go back thousands of years, back to a time when geometry was not just mathematics, but the language of creation. Ancient Egyptians believed the universe was built through sacred patterns, patterns that governed the stars, the earth, and even the human body. Inside their temples, initiates studied shapes not as abstract ideas, but as living forces. Among those shapes, one held extraordinary meaning: the tetrahedron, a pyramid made of 4 triangular faces. To the ancients, it represented the spark of creation, the moment energy takes form. But when 2 tetrahedrons interlock, something remarkable appears: a star tetrahedron, a 3-dimensional structure formed by one pyramid pointing upward and one pointing downward. This shape is believed to be the geometric foundation of the Merkaba. The upward-pointing tetrahedron represents masculine energy, active, expanding, outward. The downward-pointing tetrahedron represents feminine energy, receptive, grounding inward. When these forces are balanced, the geometry stabilizes, and when it begins to spin, the Merkaba awakens. Ancient teachings describe these fields rotating in opposite directions around the body, one spinning clockwise, the other counterclockwise, together creating a powerful energetic flow, a field that surrounds and interacts with the human body. Interestingly, modern science has discovered something similar. The human heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends beyond the body. The brain generates electrical activity influenced by thought and emotion. Even the earth itself is surrounded by a magnetic field shaped in a flowing, circular pattern. Some researchers call this a toroidal field, a continuous loop of energy moving in and out. The same pattern appears in galaxies, atoms, and natural energy systems, which raises an intriguing question. Could the Merkaba be an ancient way of describing the human energy field interacting with consciousness? The answer is still unknown, but the parallels are difficult to ignore, because across different cultures, the same idea appears again and again. In early Jewish mysticism, texts describe the Merkaba, a divine chariot of light used to ascend between realms. In the visions of the prophet Ezekiel, a fiery structure appears, surrounded by spinning wheels of light, moving between heaven and earth. In Tibetan Buddhism, advanced practitioners speak of the rainbow body, where the physical form dissolves into light. In Hindu traditions, the awakening of Kundalini energy activates subtle systems within the body that expand consciousness. Different languages, different symbols, but one consistent message. Human beings may possess a hidden energetic structure capable of transformation. But here is where the ancient teachings become very clear. The Merkaba does not activate through belief. It activates through alignment. Alignment of the body, alignment of the mind, alignment of the heart. The first step is stillness. Ancient teachers understood that the mind is often restless, filled with noise, distraction, and constant thought. But beneath that noise is something else, a deeper awareness. When the mind becomes still, that awareness begins to emerge. This is why meditation appears in nearly every spiritual tradition, not just to relax, but to quiet the surface of the mind so something deeper can be felt. The second key is breath. Across cultures, breath has always been linked to life force. In Sanskrit, it is called prana. In Chinese philosophy, qi. In Hebrew, ruach, meaning both breath and spirit. Breathing patterns influence the body in powerful ways. Slow, steady breathing calms the nervous system. It brings the heart and brain into a state of balance, known as coherence. In this state, the body's energy field becomes more stable. Ancient teachings suggest that this stability is essential for the Merkaba to form. The third key is visualization. Practitioners were taught to imagine geometric shapes of light surrounding the body, a tetrahedron pointing upward, a second pointing downward, interlocking perfectly. As focus deepens, these shapes are imagined spinning in opposite directions. At first, it is simply a mental exercise, but over time, many report a shift, a feeling of expansion, a subtle vibration, a sense of heightened awareness. Whether these sensations are psychological, energetic, or something deeper is still debated. But one element appears consistently across traditions: the importance of the heart. Modern research shows the heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body, and that field changes depending on emotional state. Feelings like stress and fear create chaotic patterns, but emotions like gratitude, compassion, and love create coherent, stable fields. Ancient teachings echo this idea. They suggest that the Merkaba stabilizes most naturally when the heart is open, not through force, but through authentic alignment, because the Merkaba does not create who you are. It reflects who you are. If the mind is chaotic, the field becomes unstable. If the heart is closed, the energy contracts. But when balance is achieved, the light body begins to awaken. Many mystics described what happens next as a shift in perception, a sense of connection to the world around them, a feeling that separation begins to dissolve, as if the boundary between self and universe becomes less defined. Some described seeing patterns in nature more clearly. Others spoke of deep inner peace. Some believed the Merkaba allowed consciousness to move beyond the limits of the physical body. But whether these experiences are literal or symbolic remains an open question. What matters is the pattern behind them. Across cultures, across centuries, the same message appears. Human beings are capable of more than they realize, and the Merkaba may be a symbolic or perhaps energetical expression of that potential. Because at its core, the Merkaba is not just about geometry. It is about transformation, the balancing of opposites, masculine and feminine, mind and heart, spirit and matter. When those forces align, something remarkable happens. Awareness expands, and when awareness expands, reality itself begins to feel different. Modern science suggests that everything in the universe is made of energy and vibration. Atoms vibrate. Light behaves as both particle and wave. Even space itself may contain hidden fields of energy. Ancient mystics may not have used scientific language, but they seem to understand the same truth, that beneath the physical world lies a deeper structure of energy and consciousness, and that human beings are not separate from it, but part of it. The Merkaba, in this sense, may not be a mystical object to activate. It may be a map, a way of describing how consciousness can move beyond limitation and reconnect with the greater whole. Perhaps that is why these teachings have survived for so long, because they point to something people have always felt, even if they could not explain it. A quiet sense that there is more to life than what we see, more to ourselves than what we have been taught, more to reality than the surface level of existence. And maybe the ancient teachers were not hiding knowledge from the world. Maybe they were preserving it, waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to understand it differently, not as superstition, but as insight. Because if the Merkaba truly exists, if the light body truly surrounds us, then the gateway to deeper awareness has never been far away. It has always been here, in the breath, in the stillness, in the balance between thought and feeling. Perhaps the greatest secret of the Merkaba is this: it is not something you build, it is something you remember. If you felt something awaken while listening to this, subscribe to Wisdom from the Flames for more explorations into ancient knowledge, hidden truths, and the mysteries that still shape our world. Because sometimes the oldest ideas carry the deepest truths, and the next one might change the way you see everything.